Hello everyone, and welcome back to some Hearthstone. The brand new Ashes of Outland set has just released. We're going to be cracking some packs. No face cam for this one, and honestly no face cam for the foreseeable future. I think with things in the situation that they are, unfortunately not too much time to get out and get beautiful, have a haircut, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, not really feeling the face cam in my current state of things. But maybe I'll chuck up a representation of myself. But anyway, let's get into these packs. And this will also kind of serve as a bit, I guess, of my first impressions of the set. Because I haven't really been paying too much attention to a lot of the spoilers or anything like that. Let's just make sure that this is working. Yeah, haven't been paying too much attention, so going to be trying to get a good sense of things from cracking all these packs. A new secret: whenever a friendly minion is attacked, summon a 3/3 copy. Seems pretty interesting for death rattle kind of shenanigans. New one drop beast. Give her a beast in your hand +1/+1. Seems pretty useful. Pretty aggressive, though 1 mana 2/1s really need to be something special these days. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it spell damage +1. That's pretty interesting. Offensive and defensive effect. Overgrowth gain 2 empty mana crystals. That's really interestingly costing 4 mana for 2 extra mana. So you're going to go from 4 mana to 7 mana the next turn. Alright, we've got an epic Dark Glare. 3 mana, 3/4. After your hero takes damage, refresh 2 mana crystals. So whilst it's out, you get free Warlock hero power. That's pretty interesting. Pretty cool. I can vibe that. And there's certainly, 1 mana cards that you can potentially profit off. So I'm sure there's going to be Dark Glare shenanigans in the future. Aldor Truthseeker. A 5 mana 4/6 taunt. Battlecry, reduce the cost of your Librams by 2 this game. So the Librams, hopefully we'll see some, like a Paladin archetype. There's a couple of different ones, but all of them, I think the idea is that a lot of your Paladin cards kind of charge up your other Librams. Make them a bit better. Scrapshot, 4 mana, deal 3 damage, give her in a beast hand +3/+3. That's a pretty good rate. That's a very good... I mean, I wouldn't say it's better than like Flanking Strike, but it's close as far as getting some value goes and stuff like that. Especially if you put this on like a cheap beast, maybe a boar or something like that. Could be fun. Bladestorm. 3 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions, repeat until 1 dies. Okay. So, a bit of a... I mean, this does seem quite good. There are certainly situations with the Echo, deal 1 damage to everything, where you would just kind of, do the same thing. Just do it as many times as you can. Though, obviously, this one's a bit weaker if there's a random token on the board or something like that. But definitely wouldn't be surprised if that... if there's a control warrior around, if it's... be surprised if it wasn't playing a Bladestorm or so. Especially whilst the set's quite new. Alright, first legendary. Beastmaster Leo Rocks. 8 mana 5/5 Battlecry, summon 3 beasts from your hand. So already, just with that Scrapshot card, kind of looks like you're building a hand of a lot of nasty things, and then this kind of plays the role of... I mean, we've seen it in the past of like the one thing that summons the many things. Only works with beasts, so a bit of a restriction there. But I mean, certainly seems like a powerful enough effect that we might see some play. What's this 1 mana 2/5 doing? Oh, it's one of these dormant cards, so it's doesn't exist for 2 turns, but still, it like this is kind of like Suspend, old Magic mechanic, where you pay now and you get something later. And 1 mana for a 2/5 on turn 3 is pretty good, but then again, if this is supposed to be like an anti-aggro kind of card, do you really want to be drawing this on turn 4 and then, you cast it, it's not even out until turn 6, even if you do choose to... if you do choose to cast it, and every turn that you wait, it just comes out even later and later. Also got this 3 mana 3/3 Shaman card, Battlecry. Transform adjacent minions into random ones that cost 1 more. That seems really sick. Really, really sick. Dragonmaw Sentinel, 2 mana 1/4. Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, game +1 attack and lifesteal. I mean, we've seen this kind of card be good before. 2 mana 2/4s, great stats, dragons. Well, I'm not too sure. We've got all the dragons from last year. Not sure if we lost any, but wouldn't be surprised if dragons is a thing. 1 mana 1/2 Blackjack Stunner. If you control a secret, rogue, so rogue secret, return a minion to its owner's hand. It costs 2 more. Okay, so you get a sap, but also the frost trap. That does seem very strong. That seems like a good enough reason to play secrets. Maybe if there's some kind of tempo rogue around. Iron Bark. Give a minion +1/+3 and taunt. Costs 0 if you have at least 7 mana crystals. I mean, is your deck that's trying to get to 7 mana, like, does it want a kind of hard buff? Admittedly, it means that you can pair it with a rather large minion to give it some maybe stem the bleeding, something like that, but not great. Priestess of Fury, our first Demon Hunter rare. I did do the Demon Hunter prologue last night. It's pretty fun. At the end of your turn, deal 6 damage randomly split among all enemies. Wow. I mean, I really like cards like this, and cards like this are typically phenomenal in Arena, but I don't know how good it's going to be in Constructed. I mean, you do get the turn you play it, you do get this. It's amongst all enemies, so some of them can go face, which is maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. Man, I don't know, maybe. If there's any time where it would be successful, it's when the card pool is small. But, like, if your opponent leaves that in play for more than a turn... Yikes. Blistering Rot. 3 mana. 1/2. At the end of your turn, summon a Rot with stats equal to this minion. So, a bit of a buff. Token buff card. Similar to the other ooze, the 2 mana ooze that would copy itself at the end of the turn, but you get a bit more opportunity to gas this thing up. I've always been a fan of those kind of buffing decks. Very on board, very like Soul of the Forest. Good use of those 2 mana +2/+2 spells that seem to be everywhere. Skeletal Dragon, 7 mana 4/9 with taunt. Good body for a taunt. With that mana cost. At the end of your turn, add a dragon to your hand. Wow. Yeah, nice. A little bit of extra gas. Once again, kind of fitting in with that Demon before card that I'm sure is great in Arena, but we have to see how slow Standard is. Imprisoned Scrap Imp. 2 mana, 3/3. Dormant for 2 turns. When it awakens, give all minions in your hand +2/+2. What are you trying to do with this? I guess maybe this is for if there's some kind of deck, like a mid-range hand buff deck. Once again, the same problem as the other one where drawing this late is just almost a dead card. You really need to have it early or not at all. Infectious Spalling, 1 mana, 1/2. After this damages a minion, turn it into an Infectious Spalling. Oh, cool. I'm sure someone's already thought of some sweet spalling shenanigans. Dark Portal. Draw a minion. If you have at least 8 cards in your hand, it costs 5 less. 8 cards in hand. So that's... And for 4 mana, it's pretty good. Though, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, with Mountain Giant and things like that, 4 mana was usually... 3 or 4 mana was when you were dropping it. And you could usually gas your hand up pretty well beforehand. So, in a way, you could be getting some pretty nice early game tempo with this. If you were to draw a minion that costs 5 or less. We'll see. We'll see. Replicatotron. At the end of your turn, transform a neighbor into a copy of this. I guess. So you want to pair it with like a lot of 1/1s. So I assume it's also a random neighbor. But already, I mean, with Paladin, stuff like that, anything that's going to have a bunch of tokens lying around.
Golden comment.
7 legendaries in 102 packs. Damn. Pretty good value. Coilfang Warlord. 8 mana, 9/5 with Rush. Death roll summon a 5/9 Warlord with Taunt. Okay, so you like play this, you can trade off with something big, and then you get a huge Taunt. I mean, including the Death Rattle, this is 8 mana for, what, 14/14 worth of stats? No complaints. Ambush. Another rogue secret. After your opponent plays a minion, summon a 2/3 ambush with poisonous. After they play a minion, you get something that you can immediately trade into it. Interesting kind of tempo-y card. 2 mana, 3/2. Battlecry, give a stealth minion +3 attack and immune this turn. Okay. I mean, we've seen in the past, like Wet Rogue and things like that, where you can have stealth-based rogue decks that do something interesting, but I think a lot of the time it's based off of the kind of raw power of a lot of those stealth minions, less the synergy between them all. Scrap Golem, 5 mana, 4/5. Taunt, Death Rattle, gain armor equal to this minion's attack. Seems pretty boring. Marsh Hydra. I like this Mecha Ghidorah thing going on. 7 mana, 7/7. Rush, after it attacks, add a random 8-cost minion to your hand, so you get to curve out. Seems like a good one. I mean, Rush, especially if the idea is that you're gonna try and do big mana things. Rush is a very good keyword to have in that. It lets you trade early, lets you get back on board control. Hopefully the 8 cost that you get is another juicy one. And that's always kind of one of the problems with those big mana, big lad decks, is sometimes you spend all of your cards getting to the big lads that you don't have enough big lads to stabilize. Font of Power. Discover a mage minion. If your deck has no minions, keep all 3. So kind of like the Druid card. They'll let you discover minions, except it works off of your deck rather than your hand, which you can have a bit more control over. Vivid Spores. Give your minions Death Rattle, resummon this minion. So kind of exactly what most of the time you want Soul of the Forest to be, except in Shaman, which is very good. I mean, people have kind of tried to play the one that makes it summon random totems and things like that, and this is just much better. Dragonmaw Overseer, 3 mana, 2/2. At the end of your turn, give another friendly minion +2/+2. Wow, this will be really interesting because I've played my fair share of is it Orchunai, the 2 mana one that buffs by 1/1/1, 1/1/1/1, +1/+1. And this is just a bit bigger, but for 3 mana, 2/2 is a very different rate than a 2 mana 2/2. Another Scrap Golem. Another Clanker. Fungal Fortunes. Draw 3 cards, discard any minions drawn. Okay. Spell Druid kind of thing. Seems loose, but could be interesting in Wild, where you can draw some hero cards. Waste Warden, 5 mana, 3/3. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to a minion and all other types. All other of the same minion type. And all other of the same minion type. And all others of the same minion type. Wow, that reads really strange. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Would not be surprised. But yeah, seems like a arena card. Okay. Scrapyard Colossus, 10 mana, 7/7 taunt. Death Rattle, summon a 7/7 Fell Cracked Colossus with taunt. Okay, I mean, you get some value. It's got taunt, it's got a Death Rattle, so I'm sure there'll be some combos there. Oh, I actually haven't seen that card. Oh, Bamboozle. Rogue Secret, so I'm guessing this is the third Rogue Secret. When one of your minions is attacked, transform into a random one that costs 3 more. Yeah, sure. Sure. Deep Freeze. Freeze an enemy, summon 2/3/6 water elementals. 8 mana, 2 water elementals. I mean, that's what they cost. Corsair Cache. Draw a weapon, give it +1/+1. Sure. A lot of weapons out there that +1/+1 would be pretty dandy on. Even if it's just like a aggressive, like a Arcanite Reaper or something. Reliquary of Souls. 1 mana, 1/3. Lifesteal, Death Rattle, shuffle Reliquary Prime into your deck. Very cool. I really like the Prime kind of archetype. Hopefully Death Rattles don't go too off their chops. I don't want to see any of the Prime cards get nerfed or anything. Be nice if you could just kind of take them for their face value. A Dark Portal. Yep. So I've heard that after about 30 packs is when you stop getting commons that you haven't seen before. Bloodboil Brute. 7 mana, 6/8. Costs 1 less for each damaged minion. So damaged minion in play. I mean, I could see some situations where you can like Whirlwind and reduce this by more than the mana that you paid for the Whirlwind, but might be a bit too expensive. The Felfin. Battlecry. If your hero attack this turn, gain +1 attack and rush. So you get a 4/2 for 3 mana if you just attack with your hero power. Which seems like a pretty reasonable removal spell. 2 mana for 4 damage. Deep Freeze. Skull Gul'dan. Demon Hunter card. Draw 3 and Outcast reduce their cost by 3. So this does seem pretty powerful if you get the Outlast effect off. Otherwise, you know what? Like, people have paid 5 mana to draw 3 cards in the past. It does seem that the Outcast ability is usually pretty easy to get off. Another Dark Glare. Psyche Split? Psyche Split? Give a minion +1/+2 and summon a copy of it. Sure. Sure. Bit of an expensive use of that kind of effect. Mock Nathal Lion. 4 mana 5/2. Rush a battlecry. Choose a friendly minion. Gain a copy of its death rattle. Okay, now that's really cool. A rush minion that also can copy a death rattle. And even outside of, if you don't have any death rattles in play, like, this is expensive, but it's a usable removal spell. 5 mana rush. 5 power rush, rather. Right, another lion. Imprisoned Sungill. 1 mana 2/1 Dormant for 2 turns. When it awakens, summons 2/1/1 Murlocs. That seems pretty cool. I'm sure we'll see some token decks or aggressive decks where you're just really like this has a like 70% played win rate or something like that. Zixor, Apex Predator. 3 mana 2/4. This is a prime on. We'll go through all the primes once we've cracked all these packs. Dragonmaw Sentinel, Pit Commander. 9 mana, 7/9, large, big, huge, we love it. Taunt, at the end of your turn, summon a demon from your deck. Okay, so this is like it's a very big, what's the dragon guy? Keeps summons dragons at the end of your turn, except the Pit Commander has a large body itself. It does have taunt, so you can't hide behind taunts, but much bigger, and I think in general demons have a lot better, like, not as many battle cries in demons. There's lots of just stats and big bad boys, whereas dragons, there's some battle cries that kind of non-bow with the summoner. Enhanced Dreadlord. 8 mana 5/7 taunt. Death roll, summon a 5/5 Dreadlord with lifesteal. Yeah, seems cool. Seems like a pretty reasonable big lad to dump into play for free or for cheap off of one of your cool effects. Is that the second golden Felfin? We got lucky. Torrent. Pirate. Deal 8 damage to a minion. Costs 3 less if you cast a spell last turn. So 2 mana, 8 damage to a minion, which is huge. I mean, you're definitely blowing that minion up. Seems great. I mean, hopefully there's a Control Shaman deck around. Get some good value out of a torrent. Imprisoned Antian. 5 mana 10/6 dormant for 2. When it awakens, deals 10 damage, randomly split amongst all enemies. So I kind of like this one. There are certainly some games and some decks where 5 mana is just a really awkward turn. Or there has been that situation in the past. Who knows what the current meta is like. But the fact that you get a huge body and it also does something when it wakes up that's likely to put you in a better situation on the board. Another Sungill. Wonder at which point we're going to stop getting duplicate rares. Not yet though. The first Librum. 2 mana. Librum of Wisdom, give a minion +1/+1 and death rattle, add a Librum of Wisdom spell to your hand. So, with the guy that we saw before. Reduce this by 2. They're free for the rest of the game. Yeah, pretty reasonable effect, like the kind of the hat effect. We'll see. I'm sure there's some shenanigans here where, like, once it's free, you just get to trade with everything or whatever. Buff your board. As long as you're trading, you can always keep buffing your board. We got the Warglaives, which seems like a... it seems like one of the better Demon Hunter weapons. Though, it also seems like they want a cheaper weapon with as many charges as possible. War Maul Challenger. 3 mana, 1/10. Whoa! Battlecry. Choose an enemy minion. Battle it to the death. I'm guessing they just keep hitting each other. Could be pretty good. As a way to... Oh! Well. That's a spicy one. Metamorphosis. 5 mana, Demon Hunter legendary spell. Swap your hero power to deal 5 damage, and after 2 uses, it swaps back. So 1 mana, deal 5 damage. It seems pretty cool. I think there might be some face Demon Hunter aggressive decks that want to use this to kind of blow your opponent up once they've stabilized. Maybe there's some control decks or something out there that just want to have it as a control tool. Get the kind of better hero power out of it, and lose your hero power that's probably not great for control decks. The 1 mana, gain 1 attack. Nice. Nice. A good golden legendary to get. Happy with that. Ash Tongue Slayer. Yeah, we've seen this one before. Germination. 4 mana, Druid. Summon a copy... Druid spell. Summon a copy of a friendly minion. Give the copy Taunt. Sure, yeah. Alright. Pexus Smuggler. After you play a secret, discover a spell. This seems very, seems pretty strong, especially with some of the secret support out there. Not sure if it's wild good, but certainly giving yourself some extra gas off of some of the secrets out there. It's not going to hurt, and it's a discover as well. Much more likely to find relevant things, so if we're playing control, find control pieces. Playing secrets, discover more secrets. Alright, seems like we might have seen most of these in the set. Let's try to speed through a little bit. Okay. Golden Dark Portal. Underlight Angling Rod. That's some sweet art there. Love it. 3 mana, 3/2. After your hero attacks, add a random Murloc to your hand. Yeah. Not bad. Little Arcanite Reaper plus. They've certainly been playable in the past. In Paladin too. Definitely played the one that gives all your Divine Shield minions +1/+1, with very few Divine Shield minions in the deck. So even if you get just a little bit of value, maybe if it's just adding another body to your hand. A Libram of Hope. Big. Huge. Wow. Restore 8 health. Summon an 8/8 Guardian with Taunt and Divine Shield. So this is probably the reason to play the Libram deck. Big spell that helps you stabilize. So I'm guessing the Libram deck's more of a control deck. You probably want to draw all of your Libram buffers and things like that. That usually takes time. At the very least, we're probably not going to have to. We're not going to have to craft any rares. Aldo Attendant. So just taking a look at a couple of the commons. 2 mana 2/3 that reduces cost of Librams by 1 this game. I like that this is a good stat line. Always helps when you get those kind of archetype cards that they do have those stats. Allah, ooh, the bird. 5 mana 7/3 death roll summon a 0/3 ashes that resurrects this minion on your next turn. Okay, so your opponent has to trade into this and then kill the egg. It's kind of cool. It's like Death Rattle. It's in neutral, so maybe we see if we see a Death Rattle deck from some of the classes, might be a reason to play some ashes. If we can double up on the Death Rattle or copy it. I wonder what happens if you copy it. Does it resummon the bird, or does it resummon the minion that copied it? I think it said resummon this minion, right? Not resummon Ashes of Allah. It's very confusing because in Magic, this minion just means like this card. So it works slightly different. It's a nice one. I'm happy to. I much prefer getting neutral legendaries than I do class legendaries. Okay. Augmented Porcupine, 3 mana 2/4, death roll, deal this minion's attack damage randomly split amongst all enemies. I kind of like that, especially with that scrap shot before. We can get a buff on our Porcupine, make it quite large, and yeah, if they trade into it, do a lot of damage. Lurker Below. Oh, this boss. I remember this guy. 6 mana, 6/3, Battlecry, deal 3 damage to an enemy minion. If it dies, repeat on one of its neighbours. So, potentially very powerful Battlecry there. Destroy your opponent's board. I should have checked the type. That yeah, Lurker seems like the type of card that would see play. Has an immediate effect on the board, reasonably costed, potentially devastating, especially to aggressive decks. Oof. I guess it does make you kind of realize just how few rares are in the set, I guess. Glowfly Swarm. Summon a 2/2 Glowfly for each spell in your hand. Ah, okay. That definitely seems very strong. And with some of the cards that we've seen before, like the 2 mana draw 3, like already you could pretty easily, make 7 2/2s with a spell like this, and that's certainly a reason to play an archetype like that. 5 mana for 14-14 with the stats. Not too much downside. Maybe it's a terrible late game draw. But a deck like that, seems like they always have quite a lot of things to do in the late game. Tend to just have a lot of spells that generate random spells, which then generate more value, so on and so forth. Waste Warden was in before. Why is that an epic? Oh jeez, the epic's flying. Yikes. Greyheart Sage, 3 mana, 3/3 Battlecry. If you control a stealth minion, draw 2 cards. Okay. Wow, yeah, that seems pretty good. 3 mana, draw 2. We like those. Stealth minions. Huh. Guess we'll have to go through and take a look at all the different stealth minions. Bring back Morrows. Ooh, okay. Another Glowfly Swarm. And a Golden Warglaze. Yeah. They want us to play Demon Hunter, it seems. Alright, another neutral, Magtheridon. 4 mana, 12/12, Dormant. Battlecry, summon 3/1/3 enemy waters when they die, destroy all minions and awaken. Yeah, real cool. I think the only unfortunate thing about this is it seems like, it seems like you need to be in this kind of deck where the 3/1/3 enemy waters aren't going to be much of a big deal, but also in a deck where you want to destroy all minions. So you don't really want to be trading into the enemy waters. I mean, at the very least, you can, in Warlock, you can play this for 4, and then you can Hellfire the next turn, and it's also going to destroy everything else. Like, a little bit of overkill, but yeah. Maybe just a bit more of a, I don't know, it seems like a meme card, but at the same time, destroying all minions is such a powerful effect. I wouldn't be surprised if it sees play somewhere. Maybe even in maybe a class with some weapons, like a warrior or something like that. Warrior or demon hunter, where you can just use weapons to trade into the waters. I mean, already with like the Warglaves, just as an example, because we saw it before. The Warglaves can kill all 3 waters in 1 turn, and it curves pretty well, 4 mana into 5 mana. Though I'd imagine you might want to save the Magtheridon for when you can actually get some value off of it. Moarg Artificer. 2 mana, 2/4. All minions take double damage from spells. So that makes me think pretty good with like arcane missiles, that kind of stuff. That only ever hits your opponent, and if they manage to hit a minion, get some extra value. Even Arcane Explosion. If we see a lot of 1 toughness minions, maybe Arcane Explosion sees some play. Moarg Artificer sees some play to trade with some of those bigger minions in other matchups. Yes, there is the double-sided nature of it as well, so some pretty arduous mirror matchups, I imagine. Alright, so 40 more packs, 2 more legendaries would be pretty good. Be really happy with that. In particular, a couple more of these primes. We've only opened 2, right? Shadow Council. So this is something that I talked about in the last video that I uploaded. Lots of people really excited for this. Replace your hand with random demons and give them +2/+2. So big hand lock kind of thing. You can turn all your garbage into potentially good things. But as I mentioned there, it really does depend on the demon pool for standard. Depends if it's are there a lot of cheap demons, a lot of expensive demons? What's the average case scenario of your Shadow Council, even with the +2/+2? Greyheart Sage. Apexis Blast, 5 mana, deal 5 damage if your deck has no minions. Summon in a 5-cost minion. So this is a 2 mana cheaper Firelands portal. But you have to have no minions in your deck. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see how good this spell only stuff is. Especially given, like, isn't there stuff in standard that shuffles minions into your opponent's deck? Isn't there that bird, the albatross? Seems like you don't really want to be in that deck if there's a bunch of seagulls around. I sure hope a bunch of these cards are busted, so get to disenchant them. Sethek Veil Weaver? Veil Weaver. 2 mana, 2/3. After you cast a spell on a minion, add a priest spell to your hand. Wow. Yeah, give me some more of that. Obviously they did do a whole bunch of changes to the priest class, and I haven't had a chance to play any priest, so keen to check that class out. 2 mana, 1/5. Shadow Jeweler Hana. After you play a secret, discover a secret from a different class. Okay, so potentially a way for Rogue to go super deep on secrets, especially in standard, where I believe they'd only have. Were there any Rogue secrets last year? But they just have the 3 from this set. Another one more challenger. Actually, that one more challenger, can you only fight opponents' things, or can you fight yours as well? Maybe it's a way to enable some of the enrage effects, or Acolyte of Pain or something like that. Draw 3, even though Acolyte is Gonzo, right? I think that was one of the Hall of Famed cards. Alright, approaching our last dozen. Still keen for just one more legendary. Second Shadow Council. It's good. It's good that a lot of these epics we've picked up, but we've seen 2 of them. Epics usually always the most expensive dust-wise. Usually end up having to craft quite a few of them, whereas the actual legendaries that you need to craft are a lot fewer. I think the legendaries last a bit longer as well. It seems like there's always more like flavor of the month, flavor of the set epics. Shattered Rumbler, 5 mana 4/6. If you cast a spell last turn, deal 2 damage to all other minions. Yeah, that seems great. Between that and Torrent, already I like the idea of like a spell shaman. Come on, one more. I have spent all my gold as well on these on some extra packs. So. There we go. Oh, golden as well, and it's a Maev. Hell yeah! So we got a bunch. Wow, did we open all the neutral legendaries? Battlecry: choose a minion, goes dormant for 2 turns. I think this seems like one of the more ubiquitous kind of cards. Just get rid of one of your opponent's minions for a couple of turns. Very good on tempo. Yeah, glad to get a golden one. Nice. Very cool. And I'll just back up because I did get the login legendaries as well. So let's just go to Outland. So we got Kane's Sun Fury, offering the attack signal taunt. I like this one. A lot of people kind of saying that it's either busted or it's not very good, but I think it's just a reasonably statted minion with some utility, and that's fine. Yep, we saw those two. So we got one. Did Demon Hunter? I don't think it had a prime. One. So this is the Zixor Prime. 8 mana rush, summon 3 copies of this minion, so you get, what is that, 16/16 worth of power. Big. That cost 8? Oh, cool. So you can fetch it with the, that Hydra? Or is the Hydra a Druid card? I'm not sure. Reliquary, so Reliquary primes out into 7 mana, Taunt Lifesteal. You can only target this with spells and hero powers. Only you can target this. Only you! Pretty cool. Lurker. This guy. This is the other login legendary that we got. Can Rathad Ebonlock. Man, that is the grimdarkest name. 2 mana 3/2. Your demons cost 1 less. Death roll some. Shuffle this idiot. 8 mana 7/6. Battlecry. Summon 3 friendly demons that died this game. Nice. And those are all our neutrals. So we actually missed quite a lot of legendaries. So we're missing 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. We missed one neutral, so 13. Interesting. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I always enjoy cracking some packs, and I know that a lot of people out there just need more and more content to binge while staying at home. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to jump onto Hearthstone, start looking for some decks, and start playing some games, some standard constructed games for the first time in a very long time. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.